Humanity has always looked to the stars. We have always wondered, what is out there? Are there other worlds like ours? Could life exist on those distant planets? This is perhaps the oldest question we have asked ourselves. It is a question that burns deep within our collective soul. For millennia we have gazed upward, searching for answers in the twinkling lights of the night sky. This quest for knowledge, for connection, is a fundamental part of what makes us human. Are we truly alone in this vast, seemingly infinite universe? Or is it teeming with life, with civilizations far beyond our current understanding? Our ancient ancestors, they too looked at the heavens. They told stories of sky gods. They spoke of visitors from other realms, beings who came down to Earth. These stories are found in cultures all around the globe, in ancient texts, in cave paintings, in giant stone structures. Could these be more than just myths? Could they be records of actual encounters? Perhaps our ancestors witnessed things they could not explain, things that came from beyond our world. Ancient astronaut theorists believe this is strong evidence, evidence that we have been visited before. Very strong evidence indeed. The universe is incredibly large. It is almost impossible to imagine its true scale. There are billions of galaxies. Each galaxy contains billions, even trillions of stars. And many of these stars have planets orbiting them, planets like our own Earth. With so many potential homes for life, is it logical to think that Earth is the only place where life has arisen? The mathematics, the sheer probability suggests otherwise. It seems almost arrogant to assume we are unique. The universe is too big, too complex for us to be the only intelligent beings. Logic dictates there must be others. So why does this question of alien life fascinate us so deeply? It touches upon the very core of our existence. It makes us ponder our origins, our purpose, and our future. If we are not alone, what does that mean for humanity? Are we just one small part of a much larger cosmic community? The mystery is compelling. It drives us to explore, to investigate, to seek out the truth. The possibility that we might one day meet beings from another world is both exciting and perhaps a little frightening, but the search for answers continues. It must continue. Now, let us consider a more unsettling topic: the abduction phenomenon. All over the world, people report being taken against their will, by beings not of this earth. These are not just stories from a few individuals. There are thousands of such accounts. They are disturbing. They are often dismissed. But can we afford to ignore them completely? If even a fraction of these stories are true, then the implications are staggering. We must approach this subject with an open mind. We must ask the difficult questions. Are these experiences real? When we examine these abduction accounts, we find common elements. Recurring themes that appear again and again. People report missing time. Hours, sometimes even days, vanish from their memory. They recall strange medical procedures, being examined by beings with unusual features, gray skin, large eyes. Sometimes they report receiving messages, warnings about our planet, about war, pollution, or the future of humanity. These similarities across different cultures and continents are striking, very striking. Why do so many unrelated people report such similar experiences? This is a puzzle. Skeptics, of course, offer other explanations. They suggest these experiences are dreams, nightmares. Perhaps they are episodes of sleep paralysis, a condition where the mind is awake but the body cannot move. False memories created by suggestion or trauma are another possibility. These are valid points. The human mind is complex and not always reliable. However, do these psychological explanations account for all the details? Some abduction cases involve multiple witnesses. Some report physical marks or even strange objects, implants found in their bodies. These details are harder to dismiss. Much harder. The impact on those who claim to have been abducted is profound. Their lives are often changed forever. They face disbelief from friends and family. They endure ridicule from society. Many suffer from anxiety and post-traumatic stress. Yet despite all this, a great number of them stand firmly by their stories. Their conviction is powerful. Their testimony is often emotional and detailed. Could they all be mistaken? Could they all be lying or hallucinating in such consistent ways? It makes one wonder if there is something more to these extraordinary claims, something that we do not yet understand. Let us delve into one of the most famous abduction accounts, the case of Betty and Barney Hill. This story began on a September night in 1961. Betty and Barney were an interracial couple. This was a time of significant social change in America. They were driving home to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, after a short holiday. Late at night, on a lonely road, they noticed a strange light in the sky. It seemed to be following their car. At first, they thought it might be a satellite or an airplane, but it behaved very strangely. As they continued driving, the light grew larger and brighter. It moved erratically. Barney stopped the car to get a better look with his binoculars. He described seeing a flat, pancake-shaped object. It was hovering silently. He could see windows, and through those windows, he saw figures, not human figures. He became terrified. He ran back to the car, shouting to Betty, "They're going to capture us!" They drove away at high speed. Then, they heard a series of buzzing sounds. Their minds became foggy. The next thing they clearly remembered, they were much further down the road, with almost 2 hours of time unaccounted for. In the weeks and months that followed, both Betty and Barney experienced disturbing nightmares and anxiety. Betty began to have vivid dreams about being taken aboard a craft, about undergoing medical examinations by strange beings. They sought help from a psychiatrist, Dr. Benjamin Simon. He used hypnosis to help them recover their lost memories. Under hypnosis, both Betty and Barney recounted a shared experience. They told of being stopped on the road, of being taken aboard the craft. They described their captors as small beings with grayish skin, large heads, and big, dark eyes. Betty also recalled being shown a star map. This star map became a central point of contention. Betty drew the map from memory under hypnosis. It showed a series of stars and trade routes, as explained to her by one of the beings. Years later, an amateur astronomer named Marjorie Fish attempted to identify the star system. She proposed that it matched the Zeta Reticuli system. This was a stunning claim. Could an ordinary woman, with no advanced knowledge of astronomy, accurately draw a map of a distant star system? Skeptics argued the match was forced, a result of fitting the data. But for believers, it was powerful evidence. The Betty and Barney Hill case remains a cornerstone of UFO lore. Was it a real encounter? The questions linger. Another compelling and controversial case is that of Travis Walton. This incident took place in November 1975, in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest in Arizona. Travis Walton was a logger, part of a 7-man crew. As they were driving home from work one evening, they saw a bright glowing object hovering over the trees. It was a large metallic disc. It made a soft humming sound. Curiosity, or perhaps something else, compelled Travis to get out of the truck and approach the object. This was a fateful decision. As Travis neared the craft, it began to emit a louder sound. Then, a beam of bluish-green light shot out from the object. It struck Travis, lifting him into the air and throwing him backwards. His crewmates, terrified, drove away in panic. They thought Travis was dead. After a short while, they regained their courage and returned to the spot. But Travis was gone. The craft was also gone. All that remained was a strange silence in the forest. The men immediately reported the incident to the police. What had happened to Travis Walton? The search for Travis began. For 5 days he was missing. His friends, the other members of the logging crew, were suspected of foul play. Perhaps they had murdered Travis and invented the UFO story as a cover. The police were skeptical. The media descended on the small town of Snowflake, Arizona. The crew members were subjected to intense scrutiny. They all stuck to their incredible story. They even passed lie detector tests, though the validity of such tests is often debated. The pressure was immense, but there was no sign of Travis. Then, 5 days after his disappearance, Travis Walton reappeared. He called his family from a phone box in a nearby town. He was disoriented, weak, and traumatized. He had lost weight. Slowly, fragmented memories began to surface. He recalled waking up inside a strange craft. He remembered seeing small, humanoid beings with large eyes. He also described taller, more human-looking beings who seemed to be in charge. His story was extraordinary. Many people did not believe him. Skeptics pointed to inconsistencies and the lack of concrete physical evidence. Travis Walton wrote a book about his experience, Fire in the Sky, which was later made into a film. The case remains one of the best documented alleged alien abduction stories, largely due to the multiple witnesses to the initial event. Did Travis Walton truly spend 5 days aboard an alien spacecraft? Or is there a more down-to-earth explanation for his disappearance and his bizarre memories? The debate continues to this day. It is a story that forces us to question the boundaries of what is possible, and what might be visiting our skies. Section 5. Lights in the heavens, unidentified flying objects. For many years, people have reported seeing strange things in the sky. Objects that move in ways that our current technology cannot explain. These are unidentified flying objects, or UFOs. It is important to remember that unidentified does not automatically mean alien spacecraft. Many UFOs are later identified as ordinary objects. Weather balloons, satellites, military aircraft, even misidentified planets or stars. However, there is a small percentage of sightings that remain truly unexplained. These are the cases that capture our imagination. These are the cases that demand further investigation. These unexplained objects come in many shapes and sizes. The classic flying saucer is perhaps the most famous, but witnesses also report seeing triangular craft, cigar-shaped objects, and orbs of glowing light. These descriptions appear time and time again across different decades from different parts of the world. Sometimes these objects are seen by multiple witnesses simultaneously. Sometimes they are tracked on radar. Pilots, both civilian and military, have reported encounters with these phenomena. These are trained observers. Their testimony carries weight. What are they seeing? Where do these objects come from? The challenge, as always, is evidence. Photographs and videos of UFOs exist, but many can be faked with modern technology, or they are too blurry, too indistinct to provide conclusive proof. Eyewitness accounts are powerful, but human memory can be fallible. People can misinterpret what they see, especially under unusual or stressful circumstances. This is why cases with multiple credible witnesses, or those supported by instrumental data like radar readings, are so important. When many people see the same thing, or when a machine records it, it becomes harder to dismiss. Very hard. In recent years, there has been a shift in official terminology. Governments and military organizations now often use the term UAP. This stands for Unidentified Aerial Phenomena. This new term is seen as more neutral. It acknowledges that these objects exist and that they are indeed unidentified without immediately jumping to extraterrestrial conclusions. Some argue this is simply a rebranding, a way for authorities to discuss the topic more openly without the stigma associated with the term UFO. But perhaps it signals a genuine willingness to investigate these mysteries more seriously. Or are they finally admitting what some believe they have known all along? Section 6. The Phoenix Lights. A city's shared sighting. One of the most extraordinary UFO events in modern history occurred on the night of March 13, 1997, over the state of Arizona, particularly over the city of Phoenix. Thousands of people witnessed something incredible. They saw a series of lights, or a massive V-shaped object moving slowly and silently across the night sky. This event became known as the Phoenix Lights. It was not a fleeting glimpse seen by one or two people. This was a prolonged sighting, witnessed by a huge number of individuals from diverse backgrounds. What did they see that night? Eyewitness accounts poured in. People described a gigantic craft, perhaps a mile wide. It moved without making any sound. It was so large that it blocked out the stars as it passed overhead. The lights were steady and amber or orange in color. The then governor of Arizona, Fife Symington, initially tried to downplay the event. He even held a press conference where an aide dressed up as an alien to make light of the situation. However, years later, Symington admitted that he too had witnessed the object. He described it as otherworldly and stated that it remained unexplained. The consistency of the reports from so many people is truly remarkable. The official explanation for the Phoenix Lights was quickly offered. Military officials stated that the lights were simply flares, dropped by A-10 Warthog aircraft during a training exercise at the Barry M. Goldwater Range. Many witnesses, however, strongly rejected this explanation. They insisted that what they saw was not flares. Flares drift with the wind, they burn out. The object they saw was a solid craft. It moved in a controlled manner, it maintained its formation, it was silent. For many, the flare explanation simply did not fit the facts of what they experienced. They knew what they saw. The Phoenix Lights incident remains one of the largest and most compelling mass UFO sightings ever recorded. It generated intense public interest and media coverage. Despite the official explanation, many questions remain unanswered. If it was not military flares, what was it? If it was a secret military aircraft, why was it flown so openly over a major metropolitan area? And if it was something not of this earth, why did it appear over Phoenix that night? The event left a lasting impression on those who witnessed it. It serves as a powerful reminder that there are still profound mysteries in our skies, mysteries that challenge our understanding of the world. Section 7. Governments and Secrets. What do they know? For many decades, the official stance of most governments regarding UFOs was one of dismissal. Reports were often attributed to misidentification of known objects or phenomena. Weather balloons, swamp gas, ball lightning, even mass hysteria. Public interest was often met with ridicule or silence from official channels. This led many people to suspect that governments knew more than they were letting on. Was there a deliberate effort to cover up the truth about extraterrestrial visitation? This is a question ancient astronaut theorists have been asking for a long time. What are they hiding? If governments do possess evidence of alien life or technology, why would they keep it secret? There are several possible reasons. National security is often cited. If one nation gained access to advanced alien technology, it could create a massive imbalance of power. Preventing widespread panic is another common argument. The revelation that we are not alone and that we are being visited could have profound and unpredictable effects on society, religion, and our entire worldview. Perhaps governments believe humanity is not yet ready for such a truth. Control of information is control of power. Then there is the strange phenomenon of the men in black. These are mysterious figures, usually dressed in dark suits. They reportedly visit UFO witnesses, often shortly after a sighting. They are said to ask questions, confiscate evidence, and sometimes intimidate witnesses into silence. Who are these men in black? Are they government agents tasked with suppressing UFO information? Or are they something else entirely, perhaps even part of the phenomenon itself? Their origins and motives remain shrouded in mystery, but the stories persist, adding another layer to the enigma. Ultimately, the question arises, does the public have a right to know? If governments are indeed withholding information about alien contact, should that information be released? Many people believe so. They argue that such knowledge is too important to be kept secret. It could revolutionize science, technology, and our understanding of the universe. Others express caution, fearing the potential chaos or exploitation that such a revelation might bring. The debate over government transparency and UFOs is complex. It touches upon trust, security, and the very nature of truth in our society. What is being kept from us? Section 8. Project Blue Book and Beyond Declassified Files. One of the most well-known official investigations into UFOs was Project Blue Book. This was a study conducted by the United States Air Force. It began in 1952 and officially ended in 1969. Its stated goals were to determine if UFOs were a threat to national security and to scientifically analyze UFO-related data. Over its 17 years of operation, Project Blue Book collected and investigated over 12,000 UFO reports. This was a significant undertaking. A vast amount of data was gathered. What did they find? The official conclusions of Project Blue Book were that most sightings could be explained as misidentifications of natural phenomena or conventional aircraft. It stated that there was no evidence that any of the reported objects were extraterrestrial vehicles, and it found no indication that UFOs represented a technological threat to the United States. However, critics of Project Blue Book argue that its investigations were often superficial. They suggest it was more of a public relations exercise designed to debunk sightings and reassure the public rather than a genuine scientific inquiry. A significant number of cases, over 700, remained unidentified even after investigation. These are the truly intriguing ones. In more recent times, there has been a surprising increase in the declassification of information related to UAPs. In April 2020, the U.S. Department of Defense officially released 3 short videos. These videos were taken by Navy pilots. They show encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena, objects that appear to move at incredible speeds, performing maneuvers that defy our current understanding of aerodynamics. One video shows an object rotating against the wind. These are not grainy amateur films, they are official military footage. Their release marked a significant shift in government openness. This was followed in June 2021 by a much-anticipated report from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. This preliminary assessment on UAPs was delivered to the U.S. Congress. The report acknowledged that these phenomena are real. It stated that many of the UAP incidents analyzed could not be explained. It also suggested that some UAPs could pose a challenge to U.S. national security, particularly if they represent advanced technology from adversarial nations, or perhaps from somewhere else. This report was a landmark. It officially validated that these objects are being observed. They are real, and they are, for the most part, unexplained. The implications are enormous. Section 9, the search continues, our place in the cosmos. So where do we stand today in our quest to understand aliens and UFOs? We have a wealth of anecdotal evidence, compelling stories from abductees, thousands of UFO sighting reports from around the world. We have intriguing photographs and videos, some of which are difficult to dismiss. And now, we have governments like that of the United States officially acknowledging that unidentified aerial phenomena are real and require serious investigation. However, we still lack definitive, irrefutable proof. The kind of proof that would satisfy the entire scientific community. No alien spacecraft in a museum, no official handshake on the White House lawn. Not yet. Meanwhile, the scientific search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI, continues. For decades, scientists have used powerful radio telescopes to listen for signals from distant star systems. They are searching for patterns, for artificial transmissions that could indicate the presence of an advanced civilization. So far, the Great Silence, as it is sometimes called, persists. But the universe is vast. Are we listening in the right way? Are we searching on the right frequencies? Or perhaps advanced civilizations communicate in ways we cannot yet imagine. The search is a monumental task, like looking for a single needle in a cosmic haystack. The future of discovery, however, looks bright. We are entering a new era of astronomical observation. Telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope are providing us with breathtaking new views of the cosmos. They can analyze the atmospheres of exoplanets, worlds orbiting other stars. Could these telescopes detect biosignatures, signs of life, even microbial life on distant worlds? The possibility is very real. Each new discovery, each new image from deep space brings us closer to understanding our place in the universe. We are constantly pushing the boundaries of our knowledge. We are on the verge of potentially revolutionary findings. Are aliens really among us? Are they coming for us? The questions remain potent, captivating, and, for now, largely unanswered. The evidence we have discussed, from ancient stories to modern UAP reports, paints a fascinating picture. A picture full of mystery and possibility. The universe is far grander and more complex than we can fully comprehend. We must continue to explore, we must continue to question, we must keep an open mind. Because, as ancient astronaut theorists believe, the truth is indeed out there, and perhaps, just perhaps, it is much closer than we have ever dared to imagine. The search is far from over,